You look up when you hear them. You can't help but wonder where and why it flies. Because deep down, near your heart, either in whole or in part, you are an aviator.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Let's get it, boys.
Are you ready?
One, down the center with the one, you have 1-1, get back in, 1-1, down to you, get 3, you have 1-7, now 8, give it, come around 1 meter, 1 meter, 8, back down to the center, stop it.
Join on the corner where the big boys play.
450, now 75, we get 75, come back in, 75, we get 75, you have right 4.
People's lives depend on you. And it doesn't matter if it's an EMS aircraft or if it's a corporate aircraft or some guy's just weekend toy. Somebody's life depends on you to do things right.
In Decatur, Texas, 60 miles west of Dallas-Fort Worth, is one of the world's leading helicopter maintenance and completion companies. David Brigham, the president and co-founder of AeroBrigham, is up before the sun each day. This U.S. Army veteran traded his combat boots for cowboy boots. He's no stranger to hard work. With encyclopedic knowledge of helicopters, he's earned the respect of an entire industry during his 40-plus years as a rotorcraft technician and trusted visionary. His brother Danny Brigham, who is vice president of the company they founded, perhaps subconsciously races his brother to the hangar. Danny served alongside his brother in the U.S. Army and then matriculated to American Airlines. As a mechanical savant and knowledge carnivore, keeping jumbo jets in the air wasn't enough for Danny. He went to night school to become an ER nurse. A generous man, Danny became a nurse to help people and to give back to his community. David started his career at Century Helicopters and then cut his teeth with Columbia Helicopters. In 2005, with a single toolbox, he stepped out on his own to start a rotorcraft maintenance company, which he sold in 2010 to a New York Stock Exchange company. Building upon the success of his first effort, he tapped his brother Danny, and in the exact same hangar where he founded his first company 10 years earlier, these twin brothers founded AeroBrigham. As they race their Dodge Rams to the hangar each morning, they drive around a plot of land where they plan to build a 70,000 square foot hangar, a landmark for this small town, and an icon for the rotorcraft industry.
We're a relatively small company, and what we specialize is in helicopter completions and maintenance. We bring new aircraft from the OEMs, whether it's Bell or Airbus, occasionally MD, and we'll complete those whatever the customer specification is, whether it's a high-end corporate machine or utility or law enforcement or EMS.
The fact that I get to work with my twin brother every day, and thank goodness I get to pull off of his vast helicopter knowledge, because it's disgusting how much he pulls out of his brain on a day-to-day basis. One piece of equipment and one person at a time built us to what we are today. You never work harder than when you work for yourself. But that also is what makes it interesting, because you're the steerer of your own ship. But we try to go just a little bit above and beyond whatever we can. Always a good idea in my book to underpromise and overdeliver as opposed to overpromise and underdeliver.
Lately, it's been really rewarding. I've actually had people call and say, look, you are our shop of choice across the country. They've worked with all of our competitors, and they've come back around and said, you're the one place we'll send work before anybody else. That's an amazing sense of pride. You work your whole career to get that kind of reputation.
Known for quality and a steadfast dedication to supporting purpose-built aircraft, people bring helicopters from all over the world to Decatur, Texas. They bring their aircraft here to AeroBrigham.
What could be better than a mission-capable aircraft, something built specifically to do what you want it to do? mission aircraft that can go to a scene of an accident and find people out in the middle of nowhere and load them and get them to the hospital on time. I mean, throughout my life, practices have been great, you know, whether it's been the military or the airlines or here in the helicopter business or the hospital. It's always rewarding when you have a real job, a real mission, and that you have the right tools to do that mission.
The Brighams are experts in all things rotorcraft, but are passionate about purpose-built aircraft. Purpose-built aircraft do more than just corporate transportation. They help serve and save humanity. From aeromedical EMS helicopters, to military, to parapublic, to law enforcement, and firefighting, or search and rescue. Each one of these aircraft are designed to serve, and most designed to save a life.
My grandfather was in the military, Army Aviation. My father was Army Aviation, so I'm third generation Army Aviation. A lot of us are veterans here at the company, and so is Dave and Danny. So they're always checking on us, making sure everything's all right. Yeah, I've never seen a company do what Dave and Danny has done for their employees. They teach you in the military to take care of your troops. That's what Dave and Danny does. They take care of his employees.
My satisfaction, what I get most satisfied with, would be working on those type of aircraft, military, paramilitary type things. The reliability has to be there.
You know, it's like whenever you got a group of guys that can work together as a team, it's a lot different than guys that don't necessarily get along. We use each other's tools all the time. I think the culture here is a lot better than any place I've been in a long time.
It's definitely a band of brothers, like they say. I mean, we've got guys from Marine Corps, Navy, an Army, and then some guys in the National Guard. And it's just, you know, when you guys come, even if it's your first day, you automatically fit in because, you know, your brother's in arms, so we just kind of get along really well together.
It's kind of something I've been looking for ever since I left the military. This kind of, it reminds me of that. You know, like the work we do here is important and it has meaning. It's not just, you know, some random guy is like, oh, you know, I got a problem with my small little Cessna aircraft. I don't know what it is. Like the things that we're doing here actually have an impact. I mean, we have military aircraft that come in here. We have like firefighting aircraft. We have police helicopters. Like we have just a little bit of everything that's kind of making a difference somewhere.
The Association of Air Medical Services is a trade organization that represents, advocates, and provides for the continuing education for the dedicated men and women working in the aeromedical industry.
The ultimate goal is to get a patient safely from point A to a regional or a trauma facility or to the ultimate care that they need. We walk into someone's life the worst time of their, I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, you know. It could be a child with asthma or it could be a child with a broken extremity, but for that parent, it is the worst day of their life. And so we, as flight crews or ground ambulance crews, go pick those patients up. We offer hope to them and know that they're going to be transported and taken care of.
I think when you look at the best case scenario, when there's a bed available right away and the helicopter dispatch right away, we're a huge benefit because they can get to definitive treatment much quicker than by ground, especially if a patient's in the mountains. So in our state, it would take 4 hours for us to go by ground, and we can fly there in about an hour.
I'd say millions. For my own program, I know that we touch about 4,500 patients per year. I would say lives touched, it's a ripple effect, right? If my program saves one patient, that's somebody's father, somebody's mother, somebody's son, somebody's daughter. The mission really is making sure that access remains available to everyone so we can take care of those millions of patients and their families.
I get to go out and I get to meet people and I get to touch the families and provide the care that they need, and again, provide them hope that their loved one is going to get to the definitive care they need. So it's the greatest job in the world.
The people at AMS provide all kinds of training, continuing education, certification for our air crews, for our air ambulance. They do a great job, and I think they do a great job because their heart's in the right place. Their heart is at the very basic need to provide for our air medical patients when time is of the essence and when people are absolutely in dire straits. Those people are in the business of helping our air crews who are on the scene, in the trenches, get down and dirty, do their job, and get people where they need to go. It's kind of near and dear to me. It takes me back to, I'm a registered nurse, and one of my favorite group of people that I ever worked with was called Teddy Bear Transport. Teddy Bear Transport is a wonderful group of people that operates out of Cook's Children's, downtown Fort Worth. Literally, it's a flying ICU for kids. One of the best things I ever experienced, the most fulfilling thing. I love working with kids, I love taking care of them, but when your back is against the wall and Teddy Bear walks through the door, man, it is such, you just feel like you're bulletproof now because the superheroes are in the building.
There's no reason to sit in TSA lines, waiting in airport terminals on canceled flights and endless delays. Travel doesn't have to be this stressful. A $75 bag fee? Come on. Flying private is more attainable than you might think. Premier Air Charter is your first phone call. With worldwide capabilities across their fleet of corporate jets and business turboprops, you can travel on your own terms. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve Premier Air Charter. Straight and Level is presented by AeroBrigham, AvBuyer, Jackson Walker, Amstat, and Aircraft Shopper Online. Back in the AeroBrigham hangar, David, Danny, and their entire team are just starting work on a new Bell 429 law enforcement helicopter.
We're here with our latest 429 aircraft from one of our law enforcement customers. Right now we're in the process of tearing it down, seeing what we have in the aircraft itself. It's had previous owners and previous people working on it, so some of the things they want to do is going to require us to redo a lot of this and hopefully make it look a little bit better than the way it came to us. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff in here that is kind of shoved hodgepodge. With these law enforcement aircraft, you'll find they tend to plan for every mission that they could possibly think of doing. You know, whether it's SAR, search and rescue, to, you know, tracking down criminal running away from the scene of the crime, to anything in between, really. My favorite parts of these aircraft, of course, is they're law enforcement aircraft, so it needs to be reliable. So you take that into a personal level too, that people's lives can depend on these aircraft and the missions they accomplish. All our work is important in aviation, but you get a little bit more self-satisfaction, I think, at least I personally do, when it comes to working on planes that what they do matters a little bit more in the mission aspect of it. So yeah, it's nice to take something that basically looks like this, and in the end, you make it shine just a bit more, hopefully. So that's what we all strive for to do here.
It takes between 4 and 5 months to complete a Bell 429 helicopter. And when they're finished, they are as functional as they are beautiful.
This harness is just about ready to go in the next aircraft. This is the avionics bay end, and all the stuff that's going to be in the avionics bay gets pre-terminated, and then they bring this whole harness, once it's all tied out like this with the wax string, they take it down there and they start at the back of the aircraft and they just start fishing it through the airframe, and they get everything located where they want, and they go ahead and clamp all these wires out. So one of the things we love about what we do is all the detailed work. This is the kind of stuff people don't see. But when the guys get ready to open the aircraft up for maintenance in a year, due to the inspections and stuff like that, this is the level of detail that they're going to see and the level of quality they're going to see of our workmanship. And this harness is what's basically the lifeblood of that mission. It's what gives that purpose-built aircraft its ability to do what they needed to do with all the technology we're going to install.
2 months ago, we started with this. Basically a kid's drawing, a couple of boxes, how they fit together. Now here we are today with this. It's kind of an exciting process because we start with, oh, can we do it, to we think we could do it, to, well, look, now it starts to look like it's going to happen.
We don't normally fly at night, but these aircraft are specifically designed to fly in the dark with thermal imaging and night vision goggles, so tonight we're going to put them through their paces. One of the things that makes these aircraft so powerful and so important is their ability to find things at night, whether it's a lost child or a criminal or even a small fire that's starting. Between the night vision goggles adding the safety and the pilot's ability to see things at night that you can't see with the naked eye, the thermal camera gives them the ability to find things even the goggles can't see. From 10 to 15 miles away, they can read this. That's visible to those guys. They can read the logo. Yeah, there's no hiding from these cameras. These aircraft they're not going to be a joyride machine. The commander's not going to get in here just to go from point A to point B because it's a nice helicopter. This aircraft is a member of the team. It's a tool. Some of the things we've done to this aircraft to make it purpose-built is a rescue hoist, obviously for search and rescue. We've got a radio system that's in here, and it broadcasts high-definition video and audio over the radio. Most radio systems can't broadcast video. This radio system can. It'll take the high-definition video from the daylight camera, the low light camera, or the thermal source, the thermal imaging camera, and it'll broadcast it to up to 200 different ground stations or airborne stations so that all the commanders or the troops on the ground can see what the TFO operator's seeing at 2 o'clock in the morning that's dark to the rest of the world. Or even if it's during the middle of the day, they're out trying to corral a boat full of drugs, you know, a cigarette boat running across the ocean or something like that, they can guide the Coast Guard in to where that boat's at, because the Coast Guard can see what the pilot's seeing. This aircraft is going to go out there, it's going to catch bad guys, it's going to save people, it's going to find that kid that got lost on the beach, it's going to find that surfer that got caught in the undertow that no one can get to, can't see in the swells. This guy can see it, even at night. So this is one of the things we love about these aircraft, why it's such a personal thing for us. When the operator calls back 6 months from now and says, this is such an amazing tool because we were able to identify a crook 15 miles away and guide the ground troops in, or we were able to find that little girl that went out walking through the woods that Grandma lost. That's what we're here for.
Welcome back to Straight and Level. Make sure you follow us online to see more stories like AeroBrigham, and on social for all our latest updates.
So these guys behind me, they're the lifeblood of the company. Most of these guys back here are married, have kids. As the beast, as they say, gets bigger, gets hungrier. The more people you add, the more families you have to support. That's hugely important for us. To make sure we take good care of our folks, because we want this to be a place where we're known for taking good care of our employees. It's a family. It's not just me and my brother with a whole bunch of people that you're out here cracking the whip and they're working for us. They're family members.
Delivering helicopters that perform with precision like no other, the AeroBrigham team should be proud.
Danny asked a question of one of the pilots, and he asked how difficult it is to see somebody in the ocean, a person swimming. And he said it's extremely difficult. He said even with binoculars flying, you know, looking for somebody, he said it's literally like, you know, the proverbial needle in a haystack. It's super hard. So one of the things we've done with this aircraft is we put the thermal imaging systems on the aircraft. And the best part about our job with these purpose-built aircrafts is a phone call I got yesterday that they're actually able to use one of these aircraft to find somebody.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the coolest part. You know, you get one of these aircraft, you do all this work, put all this time and money into these aircraft, and then they take it out and they actually save a life. And we don't hear that very often, but some of our customers will give us a call and they'll say, we just did the coolest thing with this aircraft we never could have done without your help and what you did for us.
Yeah, we did that. Our guys did that. We did a great job. I'm super happy.
Yeah, what we do here is amazing. These aircraft, I mean, this is why we're hooked on purpose-built aircraft, because they make a difference.
Completing and supporting these purpose-built aircraft is more than a job to this team. It's a calling. These twin brothers and the team they have assembled, most all of which are veterans of the U.S. Armed Forces, have built AeroBrigham into a world-renowned helicopter completion and maintenance company. Their name is synonymous with trust. Trust not only from their customer base, but also from their staff. There's one reason, well, actually two reasons, why people fly their helicopters in from all over the world to Decatur, Texas, and that's because of trust. The trust the AeroBrigham name stands for, and a team that is unafraid to put everything into the success of a single project. As Danny and David leave the hangar each night, they drive around the same plot of land they intend to build upon, growing their business one project, one aircraft delivery, and hopefully one human life helped or saved at a time.
People's lives depend on you. And it doesn't matter if it's an EMS aircraft or some guy's just weekend toy. Somebody's life depends on you to do things right.
Woke up this morning with the sunrise in my eyes, just like a new day, a breath of fresh air in my life. I don't know how, don't know why, but I'll be toasting all my life.
Straight and Level is presented by AeroBrigham, AvBuyer, Jackson Walker, Amstat, and Aircraft Shopper Online. We are excited to announce that Straight and Level will be broadcasting live from Elevate 2022, the reimagined Air Medical Transport Conference, hosted by the Association of Air Medical Services. I'm Halsey Smith, and on behalf of the crew of Straight and Level, thank you for watching. Please follow us and all of the action we capture for Straight and Level on social media. Until next time, blue skies.